Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive? Today we're going to be talking about something pretty cool,
Yeah.
supersonic flight.
Mm-hmm.
And
Exciting stuff.
it is exciting stuff. We'll be looking at this article from space.com.
Okay.
It's called Boom Supersonic's XB-1 jet sets new speed record during 7th test flight.
Wow.
It was published just a few days ago on November 8th, 2024.
Really recent.
Yeah, so this XB-1 just hit a new speed record.
Impressive.
It's getting really close to actually breaking the sound barrier.
It's amazing how they're really pushing the boundaries. This isn't just some theoretical thing anymore.
Right.
Boom Supersonic, the company behind the XB-1,
Yeah.
they're out there making it happen.
Yeah. So for anyone listening who might not know,
Yeah.
what is this XB-1?
So the XB-1, it's what we call a demonstrator aircraft. So it's like a smaller version of what will eventually be Overture.
Overture.
Yeah, that's Boom Supersonic's planned supersonic airliner.
I see.
You can think of it as like a testing ground.
Okay. For all the new technologies that will one day power commercial supersonic flight.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So let's get back to this speed record.
Right.
The article says the XB-1, it hit Mach 0.82
Okay.
during its 7th test flight.
Wow.
Now, for anyone who needs a refresher,
Sure.
Mach 1 is the speed of sound.
Yeah, about 767 miles per hour at sea level.
Right.
So Mach 0.82
Yeah.
means they were flying at a pretty significant fraction of that speed.
Yeah, like 629 miles per hour.
That's fast.
Yeah.
They are getting really close to Mach 1.
Yeah.
Each flight, they're getting closer and closer.
Right.
And each step is carefully planned out,
Right.
They gather all this data, they make sure everything's safe,
Yeah.
and they fine-tune the aircraft's performance before they actually try to break the sound barrier.
Now, this flight wasn't just about speed, though.
No?
They also took the XB-1 higher than it's ever been before.
Oh, really?
23,015 feet. Wow, that's almost as high as Mount Everest.
Yeah, it's incredible.
There's a good reason for that height, though.
What's that?
They were testing the cockpit pressurization system.
Oh, okay.
You see, commercial supersonic flight
Yeah.
typically occurs at much higher altitudes, like around 30,000 feet.
Okay,
And up there, the air is thinner,
right.
which means less drag.
Less drag.
Yeah, which allows the plane to achieve these incredible speeds.
Makes sense.
But it also means that there's a bigger pressure difference between the inside and outside of the aircraft
Oh, I see.
that needs to be really carefully managed.
So they're already thinking about how to make supersonic flight safe
Yeah,
for passengers at those really extreme altitudes.
absolutely. It's all part of this meticulous testing process.
Yeah, there was this other detail in the article
Yeah.
I have to ask about.
Go ahead.
They were doing something called flutter excitement system tests.
Interesting.
What is flutter?
So flutter is basically something that can happen at high speeds. When vibrations in the airflow interact with the aircraft's structure,
Okay.
it can cause dangerous instability.
Oh, wow.
Like if you hold a piece of paper out a car window and it starts flapping uncontrollably,
Right.
you definitely don't want that happening to a plane traveling at hundreds of miles an hour.
So these FES tests,
Yeah,
they're basically designed to make the plane shake a little bit.
exactly. But it's all very controlled,
So-
They induce these small vibrations
Mhm.
so the engineers can see how the aircraft behaves at high speeds
Okay.
and make sure there are no weaknesses in the structure.
That makes sense.
It's like a stress test for the plane.
Wow. It's amazing how much testing has to go into something like this.
That's really impressive.
I guess when you're pushing the boundaries of speed and altitude,
Yeah.
safety has to be the #1 priority.
Absolutely. And every successful test flight is one step closer to their ultimate goal,
Which is,
developing over that full-fledged supersonic airliner we were talking about.
right, the one that could revolutionize air travel as we know.
Exactly. Imagine flying from New York to London in 3.5 hours.
Wow. I'm starting to see why you're so interested in this.
Yeah.
This isn't just about faster planes. It's a whole different way
Right.
to
Well,
connect with the world.
It really is a potential paradigm shift.
So before we go any further,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on everything we've talked about so far?
I think it's amazing how far they've come
Mm-hmm.
with this XB-1 program.
Yeah.
The progress they're making.
Yeah.
It shows that they're serious about making supersonic travel a reality.
It's really exciting.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to hear more about what this all means for the future of travel.
Well, there's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
From the technical challenges to the potential impact on society.
Right.
Supersonic travel. It's a really interesting topic.
It is. And we'll dive into all of that right after a quick word from our sponsors. We'll be right back. To explore the potential of supersonic travel, and what it could mean for the world.
All right.
Stay tuned.
Looking forward to it.
You know, it's amazing to think about how this technology could shrink the world, make it possible to experience different cultures
Absolutely.
in a whole new way.
It really does kind of redefine our relationship with time and distance.
Yeah. But as we're talking about revolutionizing air travel,
Yeah.
we can't ignore the fact that this has been tried before.
Yeah.
What makes Overture different from the Concorde?
That's the big question everyone's asking.
Yeah.
The Concorde was iconic.
Yeah.
But it faced some serious challenges.
Yeah, it was really expensive to operate.
Exactly.
And it couldn't carry that many passengers.
It was a luxury.
Yeah.
Only a few could afford.
So what are they doing differently this time?
Well, Overture's being designed with affordability in mind.
Okay.
Boom Supersonic is using all the latest advancements in engine technology and aerodynamics to make Overture much more fuel efficient
I see.
than the Concorde.
Okay, so that should mean lower operating costs.
Exactly.
And what about the sonic booms?
Yes, the sonic boom.
I remember reading that was a big problem with the Concorde.
You're absolutely right. Noise pollution
Yeah.
was a major concern.
Especially flying over land.
Well, Boom Supersonic is tackling that head on.
Oh, really? How?
They're using some pretty innovative designs and flight profiles that are aimed at mitigating sonic booms.
Okay.
Basically making them much quieter.
So they're trying to make it more bearable.
For everyone,
Yeah.
not just the passengers.
So even if they figure out the noise issue,
Yeah.
can it ever really be for everyone?
That's a good question.
Like, won't the tickets be super expensive?
Well, it's true.
Yeah.
That supersonic travel won't be as cheap as conventional flights, at least not at first. But Boom's vision is to make it accessible to as many people as possible.
So it'll still be a premium experience.
Probably.
But maybe it'll become more affordable over time.
And exactly, as technology advances, as production scales up, the cost should come down.
I see.
And more people will be able to experience it.
That would be incredible.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Business trips.
Yeah.
International collaboration.
Visiting family overseas.
It'd all be so much easier.
And faster.
Exactly.
What other possibilities do you see?
Well, think about the impact on global commerce.
Yeah.
Scientific collaboration.
Right.
Being able to transport goods and people quickly across the globe could lead to incredible innovations.
Makes sense.
And boost economy.
What about emergency response?
Oh, that's a great point.
Yeah.
Supersonic aircraft could be vital in delivering supplies and personnel to disaster zones much faster, potentially saving countless lives.
Right. So this is about more than just getting from A to B quickly.
It is.
This is about using that speed to make a real difference.
Right.
But we have to talk about the challenges.
Of course.
What are some of the biggest hurdles?
Well, one of the biggest is figuring out how to make it financially viable.
Right.
The costs are high compared to conventional aircraft. So finding ways to make it affordable for both airlines and passengers, that's crucial.
And what about regulations?
That's another big one.
Yeah.
Governments all over the world need to establish clear guidelines for supersonic flight.
That makes sense.
Especially when it comes to noise.
Right.
And the environmental impact.
It sounds like a really tough balancing act. To make it work technologically, financially, and to be responsible for the environment.
It's a complex challenge.
Yeah.
But I think the XB-1 shows that we're moving in the right direction.
This is definitely a really exciting time.
It is.
To be following this technology.
Absolutely.
You know, it's easy to get caught up in the practical implications.
Yeah.
But let's not forget the wonder of it all.
I agree.
Breaking the sound barrier.
It's incredible.
Soaring above the clouds. These amazing speeds.
It's a dream.
It reminds me of those early pioneers.
Like the Wright brothers.
Yeah.
Daring to imagine human flight.
And now we're not just flying.
We're pushing the limits of how fast we can go.
It's really inspiring to think about.
Where will we go next?
Exactly. So what's your prediction?
It's tough.
Yeah.
When do you think we'll see these commercial supersonic flights?
Well, based on what we're seeing now,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it happened within the next decade.
Wow.
So by the 2030s,
Yeah.
maybe sooner.
Supersonic travel could be a reality for a lot of people.
It's a real possibility.
That's incredible.
But there are still a lot of questions. Yeah. What are some of the key things we should be thinking about?
Well, one of the most important questions is how to ensure everyone has access.
Right.
We don't want this to be another luxury only for the wealthy.
We need to make sure everyone benefits.
I agree.
From this new technology.
It should be for everyone.
We've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
And I'm really interested to hear your final thoughts.
Okay.
So before the break, we were talking about making supersonic travel accessible.
Right, making sure it's not just for the wealthy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a big thing to consider as we move towards this supersonic future.
Definitely. And, another important question is the environmental impact.
Yeah. How do we make sure it doesn't hurt the planet?
Right. Because even with the improvements in fuel efficiency.
Like Overture.
Yeah, even with that supersonic flight, it's going to have a bigger carbon footprint.
Than regular flights.
Exactly.
So we have to be really mindful of that.
Yeah, it's about progress, but not at the expense of our planet.
Exactly. And what about the noise?
Yeah.
Even with the quieter sonic booms.
Yeah, noise is still a concern.
Especially for people who live near the flight paths.
Absolutely. Public acceptance is key.
Yeah. If people aren't on board, it's not going to happen.
You need to talk to those communities.
Yeah.
Address their concerns and find solutions together.
It's not just about the technology.
It's about people, too.
It's a social challenge.
Exactly. Technology doesn't exist in isolation.
Right. It affects everything.
Social, environmental, economic factors.
It's complex, but that's what makes it so interesting.
It really is. It's not just about going fast.
Yeah. It's about how this technology will shape the future.
And how it can benefit humanity.
Right.
Without harming the planet.
This has been a really insightful look at supersonic travel.
We've covered a lot.
And I feel like we're just scratching the surface.
There's so much more to learn.
As this technology keeps developing.
But I think we've given our listeners a lot to think about.
Definitely. And as we enter this new era of supersonic flight.
It's exciting.
It really is. It makes you wonder, what role will you play?
What questions do you have?
What possibilities are you excited about?
Keep exploring this topic.
Keep those questions coming.
And keep imagining the future.
Until next time.